Good morning. Today, we're going to talk about breathing. As many of you know, one of my favorite subjects, and also the one that has probably transformed my own writing and my own life the most. So, humans breathe. It's something we do instinctively, it's part of our process. We can't not breathe. But the research shows that most of us normally breathe quite badly. We don't take enough air and oxygen in and push it all the way down to the vital organs where we need the breath, the oxygen. That being the case, we can really improve that by becoming a little bit more conscious of the breathing process and how and why it helps us with the challenge that we're busy with at the moment, which is the alignment of our body, mind, and soul. So the breathing process, yesterday we talked about toning the vagal nerve. When we breathe in, the inhalation, it causes our heart rate to expand a little bit. Morning. Thank you to those who are joining live. Hi, Vicky. So when we breathe in, our heart rate increases a little bit. When we breathe out, our heart rate goes down. In other words, that is kind of shifting us between the state of fight and flight and freeze and rest and digest. So the more we can do that, the more we are actually toning our vagal nerve, the better we are able to regulate those anxiety and stress responses in our body. So for me, this breathing needs to become not only a daily practice, but actually a part of our lives, the way that we regulate and check in and become aware of what state we're in at any given time. So the breathing exercise that I like to do, and there are a lot of different breathing exercises. So if this one doesn't feel comfortable for you, feel free to have a look anywhere on the internet. There really is a lot about breathing. So I've chosen this particular breathing exercise because it's the easiest one to do mounted. Well, I think it is. You may obviously have your own opinion. So the breathing that we want to do today is we want to breathe in for the count of 4. So we want to inhalate. Is that a word? Yeah, the inhalation for the count of 4, because now we're increasing our heart rate a little bit. And then again, exhalate for the count of 4. I'm not sure that those are words, but anyway, we'll use them. So ideally, we want to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I always like to make the breath a circle in our body, because it is a circle. It's the circle of life. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. It's the way we do things. I'm sure many of you have experienced where you are riding somewhere challenging. Perhaps you're jumping a course, perhaps you're sort of galloping on the beach, or doing something that makes you feel a little bit more anxious. And at the end of it, you realize you actually are quite out of breath. You may have been holding your breath a little bit. You may have been breathing quite shallow only into your lungs. And part of this exercise is to help you become aware of the full extent of the breath and how it puts oxygen in the right places, as well as helps us to calm down. So let's do a quick round of this breathing now. And then we'll agree how we're going to put it into our lives going forward. So just starting from empty and neutral, we want to try not to let our shoulders rise too much when we breathe in. We want to just keep those shoulders relaxed, and we want the air to go in all the way down to our belly. Breathing in for the count of 4. 3, 4. And now I like to bring the breath up my spine and out for the count of 4. One more, breathing in and out. I find we've only done 2 breaths now. 3 to 5 is kind of the right number to start with. And then eventually, as you get used to breathing more deeply and feeling the calming benefit attached to that, you can kind of carry on for a little bit longer. Some people tell me when they start to breathe like this, they actually end up feeling a bit lightheaded. So I want you to monitor that. you obviously don't want to end up feeling lightheaded. So perhaps your body just needs a little bit more time to regulate. You want to breathe just slightly less deeply, just so that you can keep your equilibrium and you don't end up feeling like you're going to pass out or fall off your horse or something like that. So I always recommend that we start this breathing exercise in a place of calm. We don't want to start practicing calming breathing when we are in the most anxiety-provoking places we can find ourselves, like the warm-up arena of your next big show. So start practicing it now. Now would be a good time, right now, early in the morning, before you start your day, while you are, getting yourself towards yourself and getting your tea ready. Start just thinking about the breathing in for the count of 4, breathing out for the count of 4, and see how it fits in with your day. I always do this breathing at night before I fall asleep, once my light is out and I'm actually ready to sleep. It has truly improved the quality of my sleep significantly. I fall asleep quicker, I sleep better and deeper, and I've been doing this for a couple of years now. The quality of our breathing, we mustn't underestimate the benefits that flow into the rest of your life when you're able to really control and regulate your breathing. So here's a little challenge for the horsey people. You can practice this breathing exercise while you are working with your horse. Now, obviously, ideally, eventually we want to be able to do this exercise while we're mounted and in the warm-up arena and wherever we are. But here's a good way to check in with whether you are in fact doing this well and your horse is starting to tune in and tap in and get aligned with your breathing. I like to work with my horse on the lunge and preferably even at liberty, so without a rope, and see if you can get your horse to lunge around you, and using your breathing only, get your horse to change the energy and change the pace. So going from walk to trot by using the in-breath, because it's an up of energy, and then from trot to canter using the in-breath, and then down back to trot, breathing out, and down back to walk. And you can kind of change that up as much as you want to. It's a super exercise, especially if you've been really stressed and overwhelmed lately, because your horse will probably ignore you for the most part when you start to do this exercise. And it's possibly because you haven't quite tapped in enough. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe your horse will really tune in straight away. But working towards that idea of being able to control your horse's pace with only breathing, no voice commands, no lunging whip, no whoa, just the breathing. And that is a really super way to check where you are with your own breathing. So this becomes, as I say, a lifelong exercise that you practice at all times before a big presentation, when you're feeling anxious before an exam, obviously in your riding life in various parts. I love to practice it when I'm grooming my horse as well. And it's amazing how the horses really just lock on and tune in and really become aware of what we're doing and the fact that we have calmed down our breathing. So once we've learned the exhalation part, which is for calm, we then start thinking about breathing for performance. The research has shown that athletes, not only equestrian athletes, athletes across the board, can improve their performance in their own sports by 15%. Just by improving their breathing technique. 15% is a lot of improvement just by using a different breathing technique. So this really is a life-changing and a riding-changing modality to start using. So I'm really interested to hear how easy you find this, whether this is something that you already do, perhaps unconsciously, perhaps you're already conscious of doing this. Does it help? How much has it helped you? What are you noticing? Really, let me know how things are going. Hello, Shelley. Good morning to you as well. And everybody have a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow.